Back when I went to the Ohio Center for Broadcasting, I remember hearing that we were supposed to do a music video later on down the road during the year. And I was like, great, I can't wait. I want to do something a little bit different. And I started brainstorming ideas. And there was one thing that I couldn't get out of my mind. This project had to be like a movie. I like movies, and if it was going to be a music video, it had to be a movie made to music. So I started brainstorming some ideas, and I remembered the song Mack the Knife by Bobby Darin.
Well, my brother Patrick presented me the idea of Mack the Knife back, actually it was about the middle of April. And I thought it was a very, very clever idea. I thought it was a good idea and something that was definitely doable with a little bit of hard work. So I decided to, take Patrick up on the idea of actually playing out the character of Mack the Knife and Roger Dime. We also did a lot of the pre-production and going out and making sure that we had all the locations settled, making sure that we had all the food and drinks and everything for the for the cast members, the crew members that were on board. Basically, I mean, it just turned out. I figured it would be a very, very fun project and a great experience.
I started writing out the storyboard for this. I thought up the idea, created the plot with Roger Dime, Mack the Knife, and I took it to school and I showed my friend Jeff, who I knew would probably share his ideas, share his opinions on what he would want to do as a music video too, because we both were pretty much on the same level that we didn't want to do a rap video, and we knew a lot of people would want to do a rap video. And when I showed him it, he said, count me in.
When Patrick approached me about doing Mack the Knife, we were both in school at local school here in town, and he approached me with the idea. One of our requirements was doing a music video, and he told me this idea he had for a music video for Mack the Knife. And he kind of explained a little bit of it. He didn't go into a great detail because he was being kind of secretive about it because he didn't want the word to get out, I don't think, and have somebody steal his idea. But nowadays, most music videos are just flashy and they're all full of gadgets and gizmos and special effects, and they really don't tell any kind of a story. It's just, kind of like movies, they're all special effects and no plot, and they're just blowing things up. And his concept for Mack the Knife sounded like something very interesting, and he explained it was going to be all done in black and white. It's an old song, obviously, and done in an old style, like if they actually did music videos back when Mack the Knife was originally done.
I would say that there was two main challenges to actually in the pre-production getting the production going. There was costumes. There was the idea of costumes. I knew what I wanted the costumes to look like. I had a vague idea, at least for the guys' costumes. But there was still the girls' costumes too.
There were actually a lot of challenges just to actually in the making of, for the simple fact that just arranging, making sure just taking care of the logistics, if you will, making sure we had all the crew members, all the extras there and taken care of, done up in their proper costumes, making sure that there was enough food and drink to go there, making sure that we had enough transportation to get people from one location to the next. For me personally, it was being up all day on Friday and then shooting at 11 o'clock, starting at 11 o'clock that Friday evening, and then not finishing until about 4 o'clock that following Saturday afternoon, and then going right back to shooting at 6 o'clock that Saturday afternoon and not finishing until about 4 o'clock on Sunday morning.
I think it's in making Mack the Knife or any other video, just like any movie, the challenges are going to be keeping everybody's interest when they're not actually part of the action at that moment. You have extras or other stars who kind of lose interest if they're not the focal point. and they kind of like roam off and wander off. And obviously, filming overnight location wasn't, the most convenient thing, but it wasn't a difficult thing either. It was some of the difficulties obviously are, just trying to stay awake all night when you're filming something like that.
There was one other thing that posed a big challenge in getting this put together, and that was the food deal. I needed to pay my actors somehow, and obviously I can't do that. I'm in college, can't do it with money, so I had to do it with food. And even if I did do it with money, I would still have to do it with food too, because they were going to be at the shoot a very, very long time. So Alex and I, we went out begging for food to Walmart, Sam's, Walgreens, places like anywhere we could that would maybe donate some food towards our cause. And thankfully we got donations from many of the places we went into. Alex is great to work with because he's got a head on his shoulders as far as, and he's got a pretty good idea of all this. As far as the organization of this project, Alex was a major help in putting that together. But one other thing Alex was really good for was keeping all the actors informed on what we were doing while I was setting up camera shots and lighting, because being that I had to be director of photography as well as director, I couldn't be with the actors all the time working on the blocking and what was to come next in the scene. So while I was out there working with my friend Liz, getting cameras set up for the next scene, Alex was helping the actors out in blocking and letting them know what was going on. So great as an assistant director, and I wish, I think I should actually put him in as a credit as assistant director, because that was one thing he really helped out with. One other thing was obviously Roger Dime, Mack the Knife. He was perfect as Roger Dime, Mack the Knife. I was thinking of making myself as the role myself, but it was a lot better. It was a lot better. Alex just looks so much older. No, but
Working with Patrick as a producer on this production wasn't, it's not new to me. I mean, Patrick and I, we've ever since we did, the Ultimate Human Project, a little Legomation thing that we did back in spring of the Thanksgiving weekend, or Thanksgiving week rather, of 2000, back in Indiana. It was kind of something that, even just from that little small piece, I'm not new to it. So it's always been a pleasure working with my bro. And, this is kind of actually one of the first real big things, though, that I worked with him on. And I'm glad that we were able to get it done. Just watch the film, and it'll be a testament of what two guys with an idea can get done, and especially in a couple weeks' time.
Patrick and I go way back to this time last year. I've just a little over a year now. I've known him. We were students together in broadcast school, and it was fun watching Patrick, because he gets this kind of twinkle in his eye when he's got a great idea, and I don't want to say he's got tunnel vision, but he just has this idea in his head, and it's fascinating to watch somebody that's got such a creative mind. And you can just almost see the wheels turning in his head when he's trying to map out an idea. And it was just a lot of fun working. The overnight shoot was a little bit tedious, but it could have been a lot worse had Patrick not had such a good idea of what he wanted to do, and not been really focused on what he wanted the outcome to be.
my overall experience in making Mack the Knife was exhilarating. I loved making Mack the Knife, from the storyboards to, of course, the editing. Post-production the editing part is just a blast, and when you actually see your idea coming together right in front of your face, it's so awesome, and I can't wait to make my next movie.
Oh, it was great. You know, I had a great time doing it. I really identify with Roger Dime and Mack the Knife. You know, as a shiesty murderer, as a shiesty shucker. But I mean, it was great. You know, it was I had a very fun time doing it, even if it was very trying. You know, just physically trying. Also, it was very, very well received by everybody, and I'm sure Bobby Darin would be very proud of what he saw. You know, especially even and the two guys that wrote the film, wrote the original music. You know, Bertolt Brecht, and I know it was Brecht and somebody else,
Kurt Weill.
and Kurt Weill.
My experience in making Mack the Knife was definitely a positive one. I would love to do something similar to that again with Patrick and his crew, which consisted mostly of his family and a few of the guys we went to school with. It was positive. It was upbeat. You know, there were obviously spending almost 24 straight hours filming was a little bit tedious, but for the most part, it was an overall positive experience. And like I said, I would really enjoy working with them again.
Roger Dime, he is a sheriff of a rather small town community that lives like a movie star because of his active go-getter style of investigation on the Mack the Knife murder cases.
Roger Dime is a corrupt politician.
He wanted to be famous and he wanted to be popular, and
He's a murderer.
He is a man who has fallen in love with money and himself, really, and he's created this alter ego to make himself look even better.
he wanted to be notarized, and he was, looking for the quick buck, or looking to make a big score. And
He is a favorite of the people. He is his own antichrist, if you will. People love him. He loves it, and he loves the fact that he takes advantage of people, and they love him for it, and that they don't know, and they probably never will know, because he knows how to put on a great smile in the front and stab you in the back with it.
He has created this terror, this Mack the Knife, a murderer, actually been murdering people in the town, so that he could bring in Detective Dime himself to become the hero to come in and fight the good fight and stop crime. While all this is happening, he's quickly gaining a fan base that wants to make him mayor.
Roger Dime is a guy that wants to be seen as, he wants to be a hero and a villain. He wants to play all the parts. A very confused individual, if you will, but at the same time, very, very clear and precise. Definitely a madman. A very intelligent one, too.
to throw everybody off of his trail, he comes up with this, this character of Mack the Knife that he, as police chief, is trying to catch, and he knows once he catches him, that's pretty much going to solidify his candidacy for mayor.
I want him to be more of a greedy politician type, and hence there's actually a lot of smaller things that some people might not catch, but even his name rhymes with crime, which he's great with, but it's also an increment in money. A dime is 10 cents in our money. It's money, and that's what Roger Dime's all about, is money and crime.